That bit's like a little bit loud. I'm gonna tone down the volume if I can. I actually don't know if I can. Maybe it can't. Fuck. Is that it? Bruh. Okay, whatever. It's fine. I would totally do hard mode if I wasn't worried that we would get stuck. I'd be okay if it was half of these things, but not all of them at the same time. The fact that sanity kills you... I guess I agree, so the sanity part's not that bad, but like, the fact that it costs tinderboxes to save, and there's no autosave. Because I think the cost to save is fairly high. It's not like 1, I think. Pretty sure. And it makes them harder to come by, it says. So like if it was like a few of those I would, but all of them together makes it quite challenging. And I think that we're gonna get stuck if I do that, or potentially soft locked.
Don't forget, some things mustn't be forgotten. The shadow hunting me. I must hurry. My name is Daniel. I live in London at Mayfair. What have I done? This is crazy. Don't forget. Don't forget. I must stop him. Focus. My name is... I am Daniel.
This is a 2012 game, and then I think they ported it in 2013, so the graphics are not going to be spectacular. Like, I don't know what this is. Either of these. I don't know if this is supposed to be blood or like flower petals. It seems more like flower petals to me, cause like they all have the white tip. I don't know what the pink thing is at all, though. Hold on. How do I run again? Oh, it's okay. It has kind of strange running controls. It has kind of strange controls in general. I do like them, but it's... if you don't play it in a while, you won't know what to press, because I don't think there's any other game that uses controls like this. This was one of the first games to use like a sanity metric, where it's how you can tell it's an old game. The log is just a triangle, like a 3D. I don't know what shape that would be, to be honest. You know what I'm saying though. It's like it's got like I would say like low poly, like a polygon with a very low amount of surfaces, but it's even like less than that. Usually low poly art or low poly images, they still have more complexity than that. The reason it looks like I'm sinking into the floor is because the game is trying to simulate fainting. Or like stumbling. I'm trying to quick turn and I'm not doing it because it's not in this game. Actually, maybe it is. I'm pretty sure it's not though. Nah, da, da, da. No. There's no quick turn. So, my main problem with the way that sanity is used is that the unsettling events are scripted, so you will at certain points just lose sanity and there's nothing you can do about it. So if you already maybe didn't like, do your best at, like, staying in the light areas and making good progress. The unsettling events will just... On hard mode, they'll kill you, and then on normal mode, they'll make it so that it's very hard to play unless you use a recovery item. And that is, it's a not good mechanic. Generally speaking, it's better to, like, not set people up to, like, end up in situations like those. Because ultimately, it should be challenging, obviously, but if you, like, if you're, it should be challenging, yes, but, if you're getting stuck, then it breaks the immersion. So you want it to be challenging, but not impossible. And not so difficult to where it is perceived as too difficult. That turns people away from playing more, so it's generally inadvisable. Where the fuck is the thing to open this? Oh. Earth and quakes. I actually kind of like this castle. It's alright.
"19th of August, 1839. I wish I could ask how much you remember. I don't know if there will be anything left after I consume this drink. Don't be afraid, Daniel. I can't tell you why, but know this. I choose to forget. Try to find comfort and strength in that fact. There is a purpose. You are my final effort to put things right. God willing, the name Alexander of Brandenburg still invokes bitter anger in you. If not, this will sound horrible. Go to the inner sanctum, find Alexander, and kill him. His body is old and weak, and yours, young and strong. He will be no match for you. One last thing. A shadow is following you. It's a living nightmare, breaking down reality. I have tried everything, and there is no way to fight back. You need to escape it as long as you can. Redeem us both, Daniel. Descend into the darkness where Alexander waits and murder him. Your former self, Daniel."
So that pretty much introduces the premise to the story. We are Daniel, and we must kill Alexander. So we are in Castle Brennenburg.
Alexander, is it inside the castle?
In a manner of speaking. Come, bring the lamp. You've been to the refinery, have you not?
I don't believe I have. Is it connected to the... what did you call it?
The inner sanctum. My most precious chamber, Daniel. And it lies well beyond the refinery. In fact, it lies beneath the very stone of Brennenburg.
Hold on a sec, let me, yeah. Alright, so... a shadow is hunting us, and we have to go deeper into the castle to kill Alexander. A tinderbox is it's kind of a made up, I guess it's not, technically it's not a made up, it's an infrequently used term for a container that holds tinder, and tinder is what you would use to start a fire. It's like shreds of paper, dry paper could be tinder. Sawdust could be a good tinder. You wouldn't typically call something like gasoline tinder, although you could start a fire with it. It is usually a it's usually like a easily lit substance that isn't like a liquid fuel. Typically isn't like it isn't like a actual fuel at all, like intended fuel. It's something you improvise. So like sawdust, paper shreddings, what's another good tinder? Probably like if you like whittled some wood, the shavings from that. I'm trying to think of one that's not related to wood. You could maybe use like cotton. You could call cotton a tinder.
16th of May, 1839. The unflinching African sun has continued to plague our expedition, making it impossible to dig until dusk. How Professor Herbert managed to find the location in these vast plains of nothingness remains a mystery to me. When I asked him about the tomb again, he told me about the legend of Tin Hanan, the mother of us all. An interesting story in its own right, but I can't help feeling there's more. Later that evening, we uncovered a passage beneath the dunes leading to a sand-covered stone structure. The professor was confident it was the tomb we sought and ordered the others to clear the way late into the dark, cold night. Tomorrow, I shall lead the men into the ancient structure, hoping to reach the burial chamber. No matter what the professor is keeping from me, the dig should yield something interesting to take back to London and the British Museum.
So maybe you can actually make more sense of like certain things in this story than I can, because I don't know what that translates to. But he's writing about his expedition to Algeria, so northern Africa, not super duper far away. A little bit, but not like, you know, not as far away as it is for me, at least. Wilhelm's contract. I hereby offer my full attention and services to Alexander, Baron of Brennenburg. This contract will reign for a total of 3 years, when my freedom shall return to me. In addition, Alexander, Baron of Brennenburg, is to recommend my services at the Prussian royal court, and within the sanctum of the Order of the Black Eagle. May no man break the seal. Wilhelm, House of Garage. I do wish there was a quick turn in this. You'll note that the ambient noise is very odd. I don't know why it is, but it is.
"17th of May, 1839. My hands tremble as I write. I feel a need to document my tribulation, for I fear that my memory will fail me if I linger. Today, I took some men and ventured into the dark, ancient passage we uncovered. Our torches burned faintly in the murky air as we slowly made our way underground. The men were superstitious and fearful. They argued loudly, and I felt their strange language getting to me. I mustered my strength and yelled at them to continue down the slopes and broken steps. The crudely carved passage confused me. It looked much older than the 4th century structure we had expected. The twisting path emerged into a great antechamber. The walls were lined with statues unlike any I'd ever seen. Despite their unearthly quality, I felt a strange familiarity toward them, which haunts me still. At the far end of the chamber, a great slab of stone sealed off whatever lay ahead. I gave the order to raise it, and as I pushed through the narrow space, the heavy stone suddenly dropped, sealing me inside. I was trapped.
It's a little bit dramatic with that. I was trapped. Yes, indeed, we know. But this game doesn't do that often. It's not a Japanese drama. I should have lit this one. be brighter. It uses one box no matter what, but there's 5 candles there. Someone was playing piano earlier. Maybe he's going crazy. Really quick, let me, I forgot how to use the fucking lantern again. Oh, it's just, okay. We're not going to, I just was wondering. We'll need it later on. If we use it early though, we'll run out of oil pretty fast. And you can and will get soft locked in this game. There's no safety measures that stop you from running out of oil in a, like before a pitch black area where you need the lantern to navigate. If you run out and it's dark, you're just fucked. There is no alternative at that point. There's blood on this rock. I guess the earthquake caved in a few areas. I don't know why rock would come like that, you know, like I would understand like whatever the castle's made of, probably bricks, right? But like this looks just like regular like boulders, you know? It's kind of odd. Playing piano again.
Much of the castle is old and hasn't been tended to for centuries. When the shadow arrives, it won't take long until things start falling apart.
We're just buying time anyway. Let's do what we can.
There isn't much to be done about dwarves. We should reinforce weak structures. The ground will tremble, and there's a risk everything will cave in on us, especially downstairs. Here, and there. Let's get the servants working on it.
So they knew this shadow was coming, both of them, Alexander and Daniel. We sleep now, I guess.
17th of May, 1839. After pounding the unforgiving stone wall for what seemed like an eternity, I realized it was hopeless. I was trapped. I fell to the ground, gasping for air, trying to focus. That's when I saw a faint blue shimmer. My weakened body was heavy to carry, but I managed to push myself toward the enchanting light. It was waiting for me. Enclosed in dark nothingness, I felt myself drawn to the mystic light. I reached out, closing it in my hands. The faint glow escaped my fingers and began to spark brightly and spirit me away, unlocking alien memories of spiraling towers, endless deserts, and impossible geometry. The next thing I can remember is the grating sound of stone being lifted, the voices of the Arabs pulling me to safety, and grasped firmly in my hands was the broken pieces of a most peculiar relic.
I don't really know where Prussia is. I think it's like southeastern Europe. But I'm not entirely sure.
You have to be swift when you activate the first one. You hear that? If it stops, you'll have to start over.
Isn't all this a bit excessive?
You can never be too careful, Daniel.
Aldstadt and Brennenburg Castle, 1801. Another region rich with lore is Aldstadt, deep within the East Prussian woods. For centuries, there have been stories surrounding the hamlet and its neighbor, Castle Brennenburg. The quiet, forest-clad mountains, dressed with scattered lakes, is as picturesque as can be, albeit the area is haunted by the dark. Ask any local, and you will hear proof of the widespread superstition. All travelers should indulge themselves in such conversations, since it will certainly serve as an exciting entertainment. All of them have their own twists on the tales, but there are some motifs that keep reappearing. The Gatherers. This story reaches all the way back to the time of the 30 Years' War. It is said that soldiers who abandoned their duty got lost in the cold, dark woods and were forever damned to roam the grounds. Their bodies, wrought by their tainted souls, have left them disfigured and empty of essence. Many have cited them over the years and described them as horrid revenants. They move silently through the woods, shying away from any beholder. They are called the Gatherers as they seem to follow some ambition to steal living creatures. It is their prey which can be heard struggling inside damp burlap sacks dragged behind them, which reveal their presence. What dark scheme do they follow? A visit undone. Heinrich Cornelius Agrippa, the well-known erudite, visited Altstadt at the start of the 16th century. He resided in the local inn for a fortnight as he looked for remnants of the kingdom's past. During his stay, all the prominent members of society paid notice, and he is mentioned in many records of the time. One day, he went to investigate a burrow in the northwestern glades, only to never be seen again. Heinrich is known to have passed away in Grenoble some 10 years later. He dismissed the notion of ever visiting Altstadt, which makes you wonder what really happened. Who was this mysterious man who visited the sleepy hamlet in the woods, and what happened to him? The Immortal Baron. The Baron of Brandenburg lives a reclusive life with his family at his castle nearby Altstadt. And like most those of noble birth, rumors are inherited alongside with the title. Researching the history reveals little before the castle was consumed by fire in the late 16th century. It was rebuilt by Alexander, a nobleman from the Rhinelands, claiming the role as protector of the Prussian state. Alexander helped the region flourish and remained popular throughout his presumed lifetime. The family has always been secretive when it comes to lineage and heritage. Therefore, birth and death of Alexander and his offspring has never been fully recorded. This has fed the idea that the Baron is in fact the one and the same who came from the West over 300 years ago, lived through the time of occupation, and joined the coveted Order of the Black Eagle, along with the great leaders of this country. I'm trying super hard. I won't read all of them if it bothers you, but I thought maybe it would be interesting to read one, considering my voice sounds nice right now. Surely you'd think maybe some of these books might have some other insight, but... Regarding closing of the wine cellar, Wilhelm and his fools have endangered my research long enough with their absent-minded handling of the human vessels. The sheriff is keeping a watchful eye on the forest, and is killing my trusty servants. It's just a matter of time until they follow the trail to Brandenburg. I need to lock Wilhelm and his men up to avoid further investigation from the public. The wine cellar will therefore be sealed off until the matter has been handled. Either the king's fuck. Either the king's men leave or they will starve. Whatever comes first. They can rot for all I care. Maybe I will feed them some wine. It would, in a sense, solve both of my problems. This was the door that was locked earlier. Alright. Where exactly are we going here? What key did we get? I have to see. What key did we get? Wine cellar key. Alright. Don't ask me to pronounce that. Because I will not be able to. The sand gave way to his tired body as he fell from the camel's back. He felt the wind gently sweep across the block. Yeah, I can't read that fast. I mean, I can, but like out loud. No. Fuck. I shouldn't have jumped off of that.
Where did the Baron go?
Who cares? He left us enough wine to last us a lifetime. Or at least until tomorrow.
I think it would have been more interesting maybe if instead of having the lantern where you find oil and then you fill it up. You would just run into these candles, and you can light them, and you can like bring them with you, and they last a certain amount of time. And then obviously like the bigger, like if you light a chandelier, you can't bring a chandelier with you. That's just speculation though, it's not a huge thing. I just think it may have been a more interesting path.
There's nothing left.
I don't want to go in there right now.
What's happening? Oh, feels like my chest is going to burst. Oh. My God, Wilhelm, do something!
Accept it. We're not getting out of here alive.
How can you say that? Alexander, you piece of shit! Let us out of here!
Doesn't sound like they're having a good time. Doesn't let me pick it up, it lets me touch it though. It does look rather odd. It looks like brain matter, maybe. I'm not sure what was in the wine, but maybe not all things benevolent. Wilhelm's last words. My name is Wilhelm, House of Garage. These are my final words, my confession and testament. 2 years ago, I was summoned to Castle Brennenburg. As most of the aristocracy, I was curious about what this supposed knight of the order could want from me, and accepted the invitation. The Baron was friendly and offered me a proposition. It dawned on me that the nature of the contract was sordid, and that the reason I was chosen was because of the follies of my past, and not the honors I've been rewarded with during my time as a soldier. I was to kidnap healthy humans upon his slightest whim, and do so without asking questions. In return, he would attest to my character at the royal court, advancing my position within noble society. I would like to claim that I struggled with my decision, but it came swiftly, and I accepted wholeheartedly. Ever since that day, I've brought men, women, and children to Brennenburg. I can't remember the numbers, but there were many, perhaps even 100, none of whom were ever seen or heard from again. Tonight, the Baron invited me and my men down to the wine cellar to celebrate our work. I had my suspicions as we descended the stairs, but he insisted and joined us in a toast. The wine tasted fine, and my men drank without restraint. So begins the punishment for our sins. The Baron has locked us up and returned upstairs. Forgive me for what I have done. I was weak and fell into his diabolic ways. My men are screaming. Their skin has been pierced by their own tangled bones. I feel my insides revolt against their God-given nature. blood has begun to pour from my eyes, and I can no longer. To reply to that statement, there is a plot, but it's revealed in increments. So yes, essentially, yes, I need him to move away. See how the sanity really fucks with you? Like, it's very, very blurry right now, and it's very hard to see. And I think that that's really why I don't mind that hard mode kills you from low sanity, because it's already pretty difficult to deal with. I don't think I would die right now, but like, I don't know. I wouldn't die right now, I think. But if I died when it got really, really low, because it will drop farther than that. And there's like no difference. Essentially, like, you might as well just die. because it becomes very hard to progress at all if there's like an enemy near you or in the area patrolling. It becomes incredibly hard to progress. So I don't really mind that it kills you. I just mind that it costs, I swear it costs like 5 tinder boxes to save, and then on top of the fact that you get less. Like right now we have 17. If I didn't use any, we'd have like 23. And if it was on hard mode, we'd have like enough to save maybe one time. Alright, so we got everything at this point. We gotta just
Someone's
leave.
coming.
What? Nobody's coming. Unfortunately. Alright, so that was the progress. If it does that noise and flashes, that's the progress right there. Here's the deal. Alright, I'm not gonna read these because you can't like stay on these loading screens. Like right now it's just staying here letting me read it on its own, but it if you don't read it fast enough, then you just don't read it fast enough. It doesn't let you do anything about that. So I'm not gonna read those, but I'll read the other ones. I don't mind it. It's kind of nice to be appreciated, you know, and to read in a nice way and to speak in a nice way. I don't think I read them out loud before either. So. Why not? We probably have to go to the lab and mix these chemicals that we got together. Probably. I don't know if that counts as an unsettling event or not. The weird noises. It probably does, 'cause like, it feels like it's lower now. Yeah. Probably does. It literally, I don't know if you noticed that, but it literally forces you to view it. It turns my screen that way, like... can't look away. It turns me towards it, and it prevents me from turning away.
Oh, so wrong.
He says something is wrong, oh so wrong.
There should be more coop rats. Let me see, let me see. And one part aqua fortis.
Early alchemy experiment. This is my third attempt to produce artificial vitae. The former compounds lacked the potency I need, but I sense I'm close. Calamine and orpiment are a given, and the cuprite binds them well. This time I will attempt aqua regia instead of aqua fortis, in hope it will produce a more even solution. The experiment was unsuccessful. The solution is highly acid, and proves impractical to put to any use except as a detergent. Organic tissue reacts especially violently to the solution and should be handled with the greatest care. I might be able to use the recipe, but I'm losing hope that I will find an alchemic solution to my predicament. So that just so happens to be the chemicals that we got. Bright flashing a light in 3, 2... One day, I will return. If it wasn't for the thought of you, my love, I wouldn't be able to go on. When I find myself doing terrible things, I take comfort in you. As long as I am able to think of you and long for a life together, I know I'm better than the others. I weep for them. They lust for power without restraint, where I only crave fair judgment and a safe return. I'm sure that counts as an unsettling event or whatever, but like, it's part of the game. I'm trying to experience all of it, you know, like I'm trying to exhibit it all, show it all off. The lack of a chimney to properly vent the fumes from my most recent experiments has taken its toll on many of my less stable ingredients in storage. Some seem unaffected, but many are stained by the fumes, and it will be difficult to salvage. I shall do what I can and move them to the wine cellar. in the event that something does come down, they'll surely hit those boxes and I'll see, right? Horrible defense strategy, but... Okay then. That's another weird thing. I tried to put it on the table, but it actually wants me to put it on the spout.
That taste, that fragrance, Damascus rose.
Damascus Rose? I don't want to use the fucking thing right now, really. Not until we find more. Fuck, I just used it by accident. Okay, so we'll eventually find more, and maybe I'll just be good at not getting damaged. It did totally just give me progress.
It sure is dark in here.
Yes, and there's a good reason for it.
Well,
but you
too
can
bad.
light the lamp now if you wish.
What's the reason for the darkness, that is?
Stay close. Be careful not to stray.
What's the reason? Why is it so dark?
Pay attention, Daniel. It's important that you keep going straight and make sure not to stray.
It is indeed important to be careful not to stray. But really, it's important to be careful to not stray. There is a slight difference indeed. Better fucking thing, maybe not.
1839. It's been more than a month since my last entry. After the event inside the underground chamber in Algeria, Professor Herbert insisted I return to England. He said he didn't want to risk forfeiting the entire expedition lest I took a turn for the worse. An excessive decision, in retrospect. But I'm glad it turned out that way. I found my journal this morning in the haphazard collection of things brought home from Africa. Next to it lay the broken stone orb wrapped in cloth. I tried to assemble it, but couldn't. The pieces wouldn't fit together, as if they weren't from the same object. Could I have imagined it all? Was there ever a complete orb?
I know it's very dark. But I don't want to use up all the oil.
June 1839. I feel the need to continue this journal, even though it was intended for my journey to Africa. This must be something very important. I just know it. I've taken it upon myself to piece the orb back together, but it's been more difficult than one might think. The pieces are behaving strangely. They seem to change color, shape, and texture, but ever so slightly. Yesterday, I took careful measurements and notated any significant markings. Today, I confirmed my suspicions. They were changing. I was terrified and rushed off to see the finest geologist in London, Sir William Smith. I approached the subject with care and we discussed how rocks change form. He told me about the nature of glass, how it eventually collapses on itself, like ice slowly melting over the course of centuries. Smith eased my mind a bit, but I can't escape the feeling that these shards have otherworldly properties.
My sanity is very low. Give me. I can't even pick it up. I'm like spamming the button. There's no reason why I shouldn't be able to get it. Fuck me. You gotta get out of here. Okay, so if this was hard mode, I would have died then, probably. That's about how much that gives you. But yeah, it's quite annoying. If it was just a little bit better, I would totally tolerate it, and I would totally do hard mode, but fucking hell. I don't like escape. The thing that keeps hurting me, by the way, is the red cheese thing on the floor. when you touch it, it hurts you. Slowly. Trying to get a platform to land on instead of the meat. The weird fucking meat. I don't know exactly how many of the previous things we saw were apparitions that couldn't actually hurt us. I know the first one was, and I think the second one was, but this one can and will kill you. So we have to be quick and crafty here. Really would rather not get hurt here. But I think we might have to take damage. Unless I can reach that book. Probably not though. I don't think you will try it. Alright, you ready? 3, 2... It does sound a lot closer than it is, I think. I like the noise that the oil makes. You feel it? It's a good sound effect. See anything on those? See anything? Oh boy. Alright. If I die, then I'm so sorry. Literally so sorry. Is it behind the gate? I think it is. Pretty sure it is. Oh shit, the gate's open. What the fuck? Okay. I thought the gate was gonna lower afterwards. But okay. What the fuck did I just say? Did I say I thought the gate was gonna open? I meant I thought it was gonna shut behind me. I know that part was kind of loud. I really don't understand what this is supposed to be. Like, is it a fountain? Or a bathtub? Seems like a shower kind of thing, you know, like a bathtub, sort of. The bottom. I don't really know though. Yeah, I just think it would be odd to have like a shower just in the middle of this area where there's like seating and lights. I do like this room a lot, but I think it might be a little bit strange to just be showering there while guests may be here. Guest room.
My journal is gone. What would they want with my journal? July 1839. I received a letter today from the Algerian governor's office disclosing the fate of Herbert's expedition. About a week after my departure, Abdullah, one of the men traveling with us, returned from the desert. He was badly injured, as if maimed by a lion. The man rambled deliriously about the expedition being attacked by something horrible. The French quickly dispatched a search party to look for the expedition. After searching for days, they found the camp abandoned without any trace of Herbert or his men. Tomorrow, I'll retrieve the things they recovered from Herbert's tent at the customs house. I don't know what to make of it, but I'm worried for him. 3rd of July, 1839. Today I picked up Herbert's things at the customs house. I dug through the trove of documents he had carried and found a log detailing the expedition. The nature of this text ranged from quick notes to colourful accounts of transpired events. I skimmed the pages, trying to figure out what might have happened. May 17th, the day I was trapped inside the orb chamber, Herbert dryly states, "Recovered Daniel after 1 hour of entrapment." This confused me greatly. I was suffocating within minutes. How could I have lasted an hour? I continued reading the peculiar text. Herbert states his facts without judgment or passion, but suddenly I could read frustration into his text. He pushed his men to investigate the underground tomb, an effort which seems to have strained the minds of his men. Madness spread through the ranks, and Herbert had to take some extreme measures to continue. He finally visits the chamber himself, where he retrieves the orb to the surface. His account confuses me greatly. If he has the orb, what are those pieces in my drawing room?
He has like 3 of these fucking paintings. Maybe 4.
Daniel? What? Still having nightmares, I see.
Yes, I can't shake them. They come every night.
We'll put a stop to them. You'll see.
Broke the door. I could have looked at him or something funny,
4th of
but
July, 1839. It's done. The orb is assembled. I was awakened by an exhausting nightmare. Shaking and sweating, I retired to the drawing room with a cup of tea. The relic pieces lay spread across the table as I'd left them, but somehow I knew how it was supposed to be. I fetched the tar, which I had prepared to fix the pieces together, and without fault I joined them, producing the orb I remembered so clearly. The tar proved unnecessary. It was pushed out from the joining pieces as they merged on their own, with no adhesive. The ancient stone relic now rests on my table. Its immaculate surface and perfect shape could have been molded by a factory. This is all too strange. Thank God, there it is. I guess it is a good place to hide it then.
this doesn't really look like a torso, but I think it's supposed to be. We must wash it.
Don't forget your bag, Daniel.
I won't, Herbert.
There is no shame in using a parasol in the desert. As it happens, it's imperative to your survival.
But it looks ridiculous.
The shade will hurt much less than dying, I assure you.
Not seeing anything good in this room. A lot of dogs, apparently. I think that's it. Sorry. Lot of webs. Dog. Canis lupus familiaris, 1658, April 12th. After a short study, it is clear that the agitation found among humans can be found in the dog. Fear and pain induce stress, which seems to trigger an endogenous response. Endogenous? Causing the animal to burst with energy. I believe that the catalyst is produced in the brain. It is difficult to determine exactly where and what it is, but I can sense it. It reeks of cosmic genesis. There is an inherent problem in harvesting this energy, since the creature is bound to die from the exercise. I must refine this process of torture to enable any real work to be done. More experiments must be performed, but it seems that only humans are able to produce the amount necessary. It might be their ability to appreciate the severity of the process that ultimately augments their experience of terror.
Let's see what you have to offer. What a mess. I should have sharpened the saw, but I can sense it. It's definitely there.
So he killed some animals. Searching for the same thing that he wanted to find in the people he kidnapped. Haunted this place must be, 'cause I don't see any living dogs here. There. It's a hat. got an A. That must be Alexander. (1658), January 9. Further disappointment. The antiquarian's latest findings yielded nothing. I'm still unable to grasp the inner workings of life and its relation to the power I sense within it. I shall pursue more books on the subject, but I suspect it will be in vain, since no research has been made in my particular interest. I must attempt to fill that void myself. Clearly, humans emanate more of the energy I seek, but I hope animals will suffice, as they would prove less of a hassle to require. Gotta keep the fire going, you know? Bruh. This reminds me of that one painting. Probably know what I'm talking about. It's very similar to this. Almost not worth describing. It's got a bunch of people beside a lake or something with a tree and stuff like that. It's well known. Does seem that this shadow is not contained. It's not limited to just the castle. Elevator renovation plans. Something. Elevator schematics. Using steam power for elevation. Chamber controller. Emergency decelerator. Bright white screen in 3, 2, 1. When will it be my turn? Have I not shown restraint? My patience spans centuries. From where I came, mankind is not even wasted a breath. Yet I bow to you. I have done so much for you, and I have gained nothing in return. Agrippa, I trusted you. It was I, who, in all fairness, should have entered that gate. See, like, we should definitely take at least, like, a hammer, maybe the pliers even, that could be useful. The saw blade would be good if we had a handle to affix it to. This is guidance for a puzzle. Even taking a gear would make a decent weapon. But alas, Daniel is dead set on murdering someone without a weapon for some reason. Just with his bare hands. I'm not sure what this rock is doing embedded in the wall. I almost fell down.
An ascending room. Will it take us to the inner sanctum?
It will definitely take care of the vertical part of our journey. So, you have ridden an elevator before?
Yes, the Colosseum at Regent's Park has one. It takes you to the gallery where you can view the panorama.
Good. This ride might be a little longer, and in the other direction.
So it's set in like the 1800s, the late 1800s, but still. Essentially right before the modern age. So, ascending room, elevator, before the name elevator, the term became widespread, I suppose. It's a nice place, this area. It's nicely lit. Cared for. I can only imagine how many candles people must have gone through, like back then. If they had a large house, you know. Obviously, I'm sure many of them carried candles with them around the house rather than leaving them lit in areas like this one you would carry with you. Although no doubt, even though it has a handle and is designed for such things, doesn't let you carry it in game.
5th of July, 1839. Today I went to the university looking for answers. I was able to sneak into Herbert's office and pick up an address book along with some relevant textbooks. Professor Taylor at the Faculty of History was very helpful, and I managed to approach the subject of the orbs. The most interesting aspect was the prevalent trace they had left in our culture. The mythic orbs may, in fact, have inspired the globus cruciger, which so many royal regalia holds to this day. In ancient times, the orbs were held by priests as a symbol of the sun and its power. As I was leaving, I overheard a disturbing conversation. Sir William Smith, the geologist, was killed last night. Less than a fortnight had passed since I'd asked for his expertise. I know it's silly, but I can't help feeling responsible somehow.
One of those notes probably says something about this. Adjust the levers to the right amount of pressure inside the chamber. The meters should read up 8 and down 8. This one is harder than it looks, usually for me, even though it doesn't appear to be that intimidating. Up 8 and down 8. So, let's start with a random... The numbers get quite high, so let's try low. Let's start on the low end. We'll go for the 1s and 2s and stuff. Right now we got 3 on both sides. And if I add this, it's gonna be 8. Oh, that wasn't that bad. One time it took me like 10 minutes to do that one. I suppose back then they just didn't care about pipes obstructing things, pathways, hallways. Note that there are only 2 spare rods left in the storage for the elevator machinery. Make sure to only discard the ones which are badly damaged, and keep the others in the inner study rooms, in case all 3 would crack again.
July 1839. I've read every book I can find on the subject. While rich in legend and hearsay, my knowledge is lack for the insight I crave. I've sent letters to many in Herbert's address book and received answers of varying importance. Today, I got one which differed greatly from the others. From a baron in Prussia. He said nothing about the quaint stories of priests in underground temples. He didn't even mention them. He simply wrote, "I know. I can protect you. Come to Brennenburg Castle." Signed, Alexander. What am I to make of this? Protect me from what? Is someone after me? I looked up Brennenburg and traced it to the Prussian woods near the Baltic Sea. While being the least informative letter I've received, it causes me greatest distress and interest. As I write, my thoughts are drawn to my nightmares in which a most disturbing sound calls to me. A sound defying description. A voice from the void. The last few weeks have been awful, with so many sleepless nights dreading a repeat of those horrid dreams. Tomorrow, I shall visit my physician, Dr. Tate, in hope that he can provide me with sedatives to help me sleep.
Indeed. Even then, the answer was pharmacy rather than therapy. Or I suppose they would have called it apothecary.
July 1839. How has this escaped me? They're all dead. Limbs scattered, heads split down the middle, their skin flayed as if boiled. I feel like I'm falling into myself. What's happening? Sir William Smith, Professor Taylor, now Dr. Tate. Is it following me? How can it not be? It's the damn thing I brought from Africa. Something is after me. I have no choice but to trust the Baron. He better know what he claims. If he is wrong, I suspect he'll regret it as well.
Mayhaps he does know, but at what cost, Daniel? There's a gear somewhere. Another cogwheel. Not sure where. Probably upstairs. It goes here on this book. Trying to make sure I don't miss it down here. That's all we can do without the other flow cycle rods.